you could treat me right. Way oh, oh. Boy, take a chance, will you let me ride? Way oh, oh. I could be the best thing in your life. Way oh, oh. You got me singing. Way oh, oh. You look like a guy, you could treat me right. Way oh, oh. Boy, take a chance, will you let me ride? Way oh.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Conservation Street. We're ready to start another episode with Imogen. Would you like to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, please?
My name's Imogen. I go by Imi. I run the account of Bushfires Barbie, which I know a few of you have seen. We're an account that is based around promoting females that are hanging out in the bush, mostly safari guides, conservationists, but anywhere from Asia to Africa to North America. We cover everywhere. Just banded, trying to get chicks to band together and support each other, because it can be fairly hard out there by ourselves.
Yeah, you tend to think of that industry as mainly men, don't you? So I think it's good to spread the awareness that there is a lot of females in the industry, a lot of women.
It can be like most of the girls that are out there are very kind of like we can hold our own.
Yeah,
but it's
definitely.
like nice to just know that there is other chicks out there. Like when I met my first female safari guide, it was really awesome to see that was an opportunity that I could take, and that it is very male dominated, but we are still out there as well doing awesome work.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that you were showing that there are women there, because like I said, it tends to be a lot of men, doesn't it? So can you tell me where it all started for you, like your passion for wildlife, and was there anyone who inspired you from being young?
Lots of inspiration out there. Everyone has their own favorites. Everyone's got their own personal connections with everyone, as I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
But it started when I was really little. Of course, most of the people in the bush will tell you that they got it hooked when they were tiny, and it's no word of a lie for me either. When I was really small, and then I went over to Africa when I was 12. I forced my parents to drag me out there, and I just always knew that that's where I loved to be, and that's where my heart was. And then I hit the ripe old age of 19, 20 and didn't know what to do with my life, and I decided I couldn't afford holidays anymore.
Yeah.
So why not turn what I love every day into a job?
Yeah, so your dream became a reality, really, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice to see. It doesn't happen for everyone, so that's brilliant. Was it always guiding you wanted to do, or was that something that came a bit later? Was you thinking about other things, or other areas you wanted to go in?
There's always been like a few things on the cards. Guiding just took my passion because I really love to share the experience. For me, nature will always be out there no matter what happens, no matter what you see, but being able to share the experience with others, make others smile and everything is kind of what I really love to do. So no matter age or anything, there's always stuff you can share, and that's what hooked me. At the moment, I'm taking more of a studying route. I'm studying zoology in my time away from Africa. But it's all just with the hopes of getting back out there, making sure that we can contribute and help in some way to making the bush stay just as amazing as the bush is.
Yeah, brilliant. So you went on to, was you training guides at one point with eco training?
So no, I wasn't a instructor, but I worked in the camps as a camp coordinator. So essentially my job was to make sure all the students were okay. I did help a lot when the students were studying. I'm a trained trails backup guide as well. Yeah. So whenever there was walks going out, I would carry a rifle on the walks as well. But no, I was mostly there just around the students, making sure that everything ran smoothly for them.
Yeah,
and everything.
Cool. Very enjoyable job. Did you enjoy it?
Enjoyable. Lots of nights around the campfire that everyone loves, but I'll say like every day in the bush is just the best day for me.
Cool. So your Instagram page, you started that not too long ago. It's slowly growing. You're noticing any increase. Was it all about the women, or was it just something you wanted to do to just show what was going on?
It is to show what's going on, but it's mostly just to like a safe space for us to band together, prove that we can do it. But not just that, but like it is to essentially also show off women in the bush and prove that there's a lot of question of doubt whether we can carry rifles and things like that. So Bushveld Barbie does push a lot for we can do this, we are just as competent, and we're going to look bloody good doing it.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff.
But yeah, we are on the lookout for a Bushveld Ken or a Bushveld Kendra as well, just to it's always fun to have someone else in the bush with you.
Yeah, brilliant. So get in contact if you want to be a Bushveld Ken.
Yeah.
Message below. So, like, you're being from Australia, the fires that went on earlier on in the year. So I don't think you was over in Australia at the time, was you?
I went back for 2 weeks whilst the fires were bad, but then I was back to South Africa again.
It was tragic times, and went all around the globe. Everyone knew about it. How has that affected the country itself?
It's kind of brought us back to our roots a lot with banding together and community support hugely. It has just been devastating knowing people that have been hospitalised because of smoke inhalation and friends that have lost houses and everything. Yeah. It has been tragic, but I think the most tragic thing that doesn't really get a big say is the wildlife. Yeah. Losing over 1 billion animals easily. And with Australia being one of the leading countries for the highest extinction rate annually, we're not on the best front foot for it. And like it was the small creatures that not a lot of people know about and the long-term and lasting effects that have been the greatest impact. So things like bats and insects that haven't been able to essentially get the care that they've needed, or the rescuing, or being able to find a new habitat to survive in. They've definitely been struggling, and you can see it in my local area. We had a large bat colony that lived in there, and unfortunately you watch the numbers dwindle. Not a lot we can do about it. So long-lasting effects, if you think about it, 12 million hectares was burnt. That's a lot. That's
a huge area.
It does look beautiful at the moment. You have black trees with green flush sprouts everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, it makes, for me, it resonates a lot. And my heart has always been in Africa. But I take a step back and I'm really looking at my own flora and fauna that I have around me at the moment. I'm really trying to see what I can do to help. There's been an amazing amount of support from everyone, all the community, especially at the moment with everyone being housebound. A huge increase in rescuers and carers and foster carers just coming forward to try and help, because we are still trying to kind of get back on side with all the animals, and koalas are actually being reintroduced again finally. But there is a few that are going to be in captivity essentially for the rest of their lives after what's happened. So the community support behind not only people being affected has been fantastic for the wildlife as well, and people stepping forward.
Yeah, I was just going to hit the topic of koalas. The numbers now is so unknown because they took that such big a hit. So, like I said, with them reintroducing, that's good to know that is happening now. But
yeah,
how will they recover? That's the thing.
Yeah, it's such a long process for them to go through. And I'm sure you saw some of the clips online, just the sheer quantity of koalas individually that have been affected. But there has been huge amounts of money put into large koala rehabilitation centres, and just amazingly out of these new reserves that have come around and everything.
So you think it'll bounce back, and what kind of timescale do you think it'll be in terms of how fast that will happen?
I don't, as most of the world knows, that at the moment, regardless of most of our efforts, we're on a gradual decline with all of our wildlife and flora that we have out there. And we are doing the best that we can to save a lot of it. But I don't think efforts will be as good to get it back to where it was. But we can only do what we can. There has been great efforts put forward to it. Not only huge amounts of money and heaps of people actually like helping with everything, which is really fantastic, and these new big reserves, but it's created a huge awareness, which is fantastic, and hopefully people are taking a second guess at some of the things that they are doing to help it. But in terms of when it's going to be back to normal,
who knows, basically, yeah.
The Australian bush, notoriously, we have been like a fire hub, essentially. So most of our wildlife is equipped to deal and bounce back with this. I just think no one expected it to become this big, the fires that we had at the start of the year. And with growing suburbs and everything, the wildlife doesn't have many places to go. Lucky I live on like a little bit of land. But even I had kangaroos outside my house yesterday morning, so
I suppose it's a treat in a way.
Yeah, it's great for me. I love it. But it's difficult to see them in areas that aren't fully their natural homes as well.
I mean, the good thing is about nature, if left, it will recover, as I think we are seeing now with us being locked up. You're seeing a lot of nature take over now, which is great to see in different areas of the world. And I saw a picture after the fires, almost instantly vegetation was starting to grow, which it just shows, doesn't it? If we give it a chance, it will recover.
Yeah, exactly. And like Australia, that's what our flora is kind of based around. Like bushfires have been a huge part of Australia ever since, like, as far back as we know. Yeah. We have birds that are specialised in collecting dry matter to try and encourage bushfires.
Yeah.
They just got a little bit out of control this year, and I'm sure it's happened in the past, but earlier than we can date, and hopefully that everything can come back to what it was, and see a few more creatures and critters out there.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't see something like that again for many years now. Well, ever, hopefully, but surely it'll happen again.
Exactly.
That we're having. Going back to Africa, do you have any experiences that are memorable to you? I know I asked Adam this in the previous video, but it's really intriguing to know what experiences people have had.
I also just love that everyone has their own experiences.
Yeah.
Like you can't go out there and wish that you had someone else's experiences, because you will not appreciate how amazing your own experiences have been. I have had some very close elephant encounters. My so when you finish eco training, you graduate if you do the year-long course. And my parents came over for my graduation, and I decided to move my sleeping arrangements to outside my tent.
No.
Well, it's on a large deck and everything. And I put like a chair in front of the stairs to make sure nothing can crawl up the stairs to get me. And the middle of the night, it must have been like 2 or 3 a.m. My mother wakes up because there's a huge elephant outside. I am fast asleep, and this elephant is sniffing me and like has its trunk basically touching me. And I'm just fast asleep, and my mum's inside panicking, going, "What do I do?"
Heart racing moment for your mum, but you was none the wiser.
Yeah, exactly. I woke up and I was like, "Are you sure, Mum?"
See, things like that seem to. There's one that stands out, isn't it? But I'm sure you've had many, many more encounters that have really got your heart racing. But at the end of it, it's so good to have been there and experienced it.
Yeah, I've had a lion encounter very close on foot. And you get out of those situations. And this one wasn't super aggressive. We went in, we had a fantastic sighting. we came out and all of us were crying. Like, it was just such like an emotional and adrenaline overload. It wasn't upsetting. It wasn't that we were in shock because of something so amazing. Well, kind of that we were in shock that something so amazing had happened, but like it turns you on another level.
Yeah.
And
adrenaline rush.
Exactly. I encourage everyone to seek it, but safely.
I think people expect that lion encounters will always turn bad. People who aren't in the industry or interested in that. But they are generally quite scared. They see us as a predator, don't they? So on foot, typically they will be quite scared unless you approach them in certain circumstances.
Exactly. And we always, when we walk with the fact that we wouldn't walk anywhere without a rifle.
Yeah.
So keeping that in mind, like, shooting's our last resort, and
Definitely.
Those lion encounters, you're right, they very rarely turn sour, and when they do, it's normally us to blame. But it's also about knowing where the line is. You learn very fast out there as well.
But you got to be on your toes, aren't you?
Yeah. Always when you don't know what's around the corner.
Sure. So what does the future hold for you? Are you hoping to go back to Africa? Where do you want to take your career?
So at the moment, I am doing a Bachelor of Zoology at university, but I am all online. So I only came back from Africa just before this all broke out. I think it was February or March that I came. I can't remember. But no, the goal is to get back out there. I have a position waiting for me at Greater Kudu Lands, up in the north of South Africa, which is just the most beautiful, stunning area with giant baobabs and everything, and a beautiful rhino population up there as well. So I'm hoping that I can jump back on board with that project that's going up there, continue my studies, and then see what part of Africa calls me in next.
Cool. So you're looking forward to that, definitely.
So Louis, when are you coming to visit?
Pardon?
When are you coming to visit?
Oh, I'd love to go over to Africa for sure. Just I've got a baby, I've got a daughter, so it's a bit more difficult. She's only 2.
We take children of any size.
Oh, there we go then. I'll speak to the missus and see what can be done.
That's family safaris. We'll take you.
I mean, I'd love to bring her over eventually. I've actually never visited, so it'd be great to go over to Africa.
No, you're gonna have to come and gonna visit Adam and I, and we're gonna show you the bush.
I'd love to do that for sure. It'd be brilliant. I mean, before, when I was younger, I definitely wanted to become a guide. And then I've got a daughter now, so that's all on hold. Hopefully in the future, I'll be able to become a reality. So
careful what you wish for. She might fall in love with it as well.
Well, that's a goal, isn't it? That's what you want.
I actually, to be honest, it is. My parents don't like the fact that I'm constantly running off to Africa.
I bet. Especially after what they experienced with that elephant.
Oh yeah, that was just one of the tamer encounters.
Moving on. Favourite animal? What would you say?
Okay, so I've been thinking very long and hard about this.
Okay.
And I've come to my decision. It's something that I haven't seen before. So okay. I'm like really questioning. But a numbat. It's a small Australian animal. They're like really hard to find and hard to see. They're kind of like a mongoose and a squirrel.
Right.
But I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, they've always been my favourite. Or bandicoots. I love bandicoots as well.
Nice. I mean, I've never actually heard of that. What's that? A numbat, did you say?
A numbat, yeah.
Right. What's it look like? I know you just said, but
it's like stripy and orange and like about this big and like a really pointy nose.
I'm thinking about seeing one actually. Thinking about it. Possible.
They're pretty cool. They're kind of like similar to meerkats.
Right. Similar size?
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
You're gonna have to do it.
Definitely leopard for me.
Ooh.
100%.
Do you think that's your spirit animal as well?
I don't know. I've never thought about spirit animals, to be honest.
How have you not thought about a spirit
I don't
animal?
know. It's just never occurred to me about spirit animals. What's your spirit animal?
I think it's a wild dog.
Wild dog.
Yeah.
Always running around.
Always running, always excitable, but I strive and I'm much more successful when I'm in a pack.
Yeah, for sure. Not independently. You like to work with a group of people. That could be why your job has gone into this, because you're always around people, do you think?
Exactly, and like I love like social contact and kind of hanging out with people. Not just that, but like if you do love the bush and you do want to go out with the bush, there's no better place than being on course with a whole bunch of other people that also love the bush. It's just incredible.
I suppose it's easy to get along with people who have the same interest.
Yeah, exactly. It's much as that, it just provokes conversation, and then
Well, if you're stuck around them, you've got to talk, haven't you? So
exactly.
it's got
Me, I don't stop talking. Ask Adam.
That's good. It's a good thing. Anyway, we'll leave it at that. I'll leave your socials below.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to chat to you.
No worries. It's
Thank
good
you for coming on.
Have a lovely day.
And thank you for everyone for tuning in and watching. Please subscribe and like. Thank you very much.